Hello everyone. Hello. I'm gonna be so quick with the greetings because we have a long video and it's a bit chaotic. This program for today, it's a chaotic because it actually represents this whole Mercury retrogression, right? Because when you are into something, then your whole life takes that theme, right? So people who are into astrology, they naturally get aligned with what's happening with the planets, right? So we are going to have different themes in this video. However, it actually came out of something that I heard on the internet, that Sierra and Russel Williams actually hooked up Normani, our girl, right, and DK Metcalf. He's a sportsman. I just forgot which sports he's doing. I think football, the American football, right? So you know how we are in this channel. We mix everything. We mix pop culture with spiritualism and astrology, of course, because that's what we're all about. And because it's a Gemini owned channel, so we have to be curious, we have to be knowledgeable about what is going on around us, and not just not limit ourselves. And so media, it's our thing. Spiritualism is our thing because facing the ninth house, right, of higher knowledge, religion, and all of these things. So we're working with that axis. However, the theme is obviously and always to heal relationships. So let's focus on Mercury and its role in relationships, because a lot of people don't give enough attention to Mercury, and without Mercury we are doomed, right? Without Mercury we don't have even this platform, right? Because remember, Mercury is the messenger. Mercury is the link between people, and it is the link that keeps the relationships going. Without Mercury, without a good communication between people, the relationships die. People forget each other and they move on. So Mercury is one of those planets that even though it looks small, or people tend to overlook it, it's actually very important. With Venus, yes, you can have the love, you can share the love, but without communicating that love, your relationship will die. You can have the commitment, but without a way to communicate how committed you are and how much you want to be committed, your relationship will die. You can have the passion, you can have Mars all fiery in the relationship, but without Mercury, your relationship will fizzle out. So you do need Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde right now, and because it's a retrograde right now, I am hoping that you do not take any huge decisions at this time, right? Which also reminds me that I need to respond to some of you guys, some of your mails, right, and tell you the same thing. And I will also send out a very important note to the premium subscribers about this Mercury retrograde, because I would love you guys to be vigilant in your communication, towards your relationships, towards the people that are around you, right? Always think in the back of your mind, oh my gosh, okay, now Mercury is a retrograde. What is Mercury retrograde about, right? This is like very popular, and we know like it's all commercialized. Mercury retrograde. When Mercury is retrograde, it's requiring us to reflect on our thoughts, reflect on our communication, reflect on anything and everything that needs us to bind ourselves. Okay, so think about it. You already know the basics of what it will do, the problems. Yeah, it will cause misunderstandings, miscommunications, delays in transportations, delays in anything really that is making you connect to the next person, right? Even if you make a purchase, you may buy something that is expensive right now, thinking that it is good. And then when Mercury goes forward again, you go like, oh my gosh, that was a scam. I got scammed. This thing doesn't work. Or you find out that I don't want this computer anymore, right? So it is the same thing in relationships as well. You may agree on to doing something right now under the influence of the confusion of Mercury going retrograde, because remember, Mercury represents our intellectual capacity, right? So when it's going retrograde, it means that there is a confusion in how we think. Now, not for everyone. This is what we miss. It is not for everyone. If you were born with a Mercury retrograde, it means that for you this time it is the best, because you are in your element. Now you are able to put 1 + 1 = 2 effortlessly, unlike people who have normal Mercuries. These are the ones who will suffer. But everybody else who was born with a Mercury retrograde, this is the best time for themselves to make things happen, like literally just make things happen, achieve as much as you can within these 3 weeks, because you are in your element. Mercury has gone back to be in your element. You are in your zone at this time. No one can think better than you, right? So so this is what a lot of people don't know about or don't think about, that actually a retrograde Mercury can be good for some people, right? Now it is very important that when we get into this Mercury retrograde, as it started already yesterday, today it is the 17th of March 2025, and yesterday it was the 16th of March, and this is when Mercury started to go retrograde, because on the 15th of March it went stationary, right? Why is this important? Because there will be 2 stages of this retrogression of Mercury, and these 2 stages will not be the same. They will not give the same results. They will not be feeling the same way to us. They will be different. So it is utterly important that we note that from yesterday, the 16th, up until the 3rd of April, we will call this stage 1, right? Just for us to remember. So we're going to say this is stage 1 from 16th until the 3rd of April. And thereafter, from the 4th of April until the 9th of April, this is going to be stage 2 of this retrogression, all right? And then Mercury at this time will go stationary and then move forward, right? So remembering what's going to happen now, you must understand that with the first stage, right, we're just calling it stage 1, from the 16th until the 3rd of April, sorry. This stage, it is going to be requiring us to use our intelligence quite often, okay? We're going to be required to reflect on expanding, within our relationships or, our connections with the people that we love. This stage 1, think as much as you can with everything. Think, use your mind even more than you're supposed to, right? But remember, you do not take any final decision that is, until Mercury goes forward on the 9th or the 10th of April. Then you can think of now implementing whatever you're going to be planning now and reflecting on now, right? Now is just the time of calming down, taking notes, taking mental notes. Okay, this I don't like, this I like, this I accept, this I don't accept. And then after Mercury goes forward, you can take a decision. If you want to cut off somebody from your life, then you can do that after Mercury goes forward, right? And if it's a love situation, I would, normally say wait until Venus goes forward, because remember, Venus is also retrograde at this time. So you may choose to dump someone, to break up with someone right now. It is not a good time, because then after Mercury goes retrograde, you might feel like, oh my gosh, okay, I made a bad decision. I want this person, right? And then Venus as well is retrograde, so everything is just confused right now. So now just take mental notes. Now is the time to take mental notes, unless of course it's a dire situation whereby it's life and death. Okay, then here it is the time to cut loose, right? But if it's something that you can postpone when it comes to your decisions, please do that and wait until these two major planets for relationships go forward. Right, let's take a break. So what is this stage 1 about, Meta, right? You may be asking. Okay, it's already said, right, that Mercury is going to be in 2 stages. This means that we're looking at the degrees that is going to be retrograde. It's going to start its retrogression as it started already yesterday at 15 degrees, right? And it's going to go up to 2 degrees in its retrogression, right? But on the 4th of April, it's going to get into another nakshatra, right? Remember, I'm just saying lunar mention because it's easier for me to say lunar mention than nakshatra, right? So it will go into 2 nakshatras or 2 lunar mentions in these retrogradations. And remember, when it comes to degrees, everything changes. There are certain limits of degrees that the whole vibe will change. And in these 2 stages, that's what we're going to be experiencing. So for the first, it's going to be in the Andromeda and Algenib, when it comes to constellations, right? and Sutra Bhadrapada in Nakshatra, right? But constellation, we're talking about Andromeda. We all know Andromeda, especially if you are also including astronomy in your astrology to understand, to really understand the whole thing, right? So what is going to be happening is that there's going to be a lot of energy work. So every reflection and thing and thought and decisions that you're pondering on, you're going to be using a lot of energy. A lot of people are going to be feeling like, oh, their energy is being taken away, or they're feeling tired, or they're feeling exhausted. Like when they have to take, major decisions, they feel like, I don't know how to do this. I don't have energy to do this now. There's going to be a lot of that, like whereby people are feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel this mysticism around me. I can't explain it, right? But at the same time, I want to expand. I want to expand my love, my relationship. I want to reach a new level in our relationship. But there's a lot of hidden work, hidden information, because remember, Mercury is Mercury's information. There will be a lot of hidden information, even if people are trying to get into this secret or this knowledge that they're looking for. It's difficult to attain it, right? Because Mercury's retrograde is not acting as normally as it would, right? So people will be trying to want freedom or to seek freedom. Like they will be feeling like, I want to break free from this relationship, or I want to break free from being single, right? So that is like the opposite. So there will be a lot of freedom seeking right now until the 4th of April. But there will be something inhibiting them from attaining this freedom, and most of the time it's going to be hidden information. So people can't really get the information that they need to make the decision, to take the decision at this time, so that they can break free from illusion, because really it's all about this. People want to break free from illusion, but because it's retrograde, this Mercury, a lot of people are going to stay in this illusion for some time. So at this time, whilst this is happening, just reflect, look for your freedom points. How are you going to get out? Look for them, collect them for now. Don't take the decision to get out, because again, it could lead you into another illusion at this time, right? So what's happening now, for the first period, which started yesterday already, people are looking for dissolving karmic ties that they no longer want. They're doing a deep reflection, but as I said, there is a blockage, or there will be a blockage, or there will be another path which leads to another illusion at this time. So just reflect, do your deep reflection, and then when the time is right, when Mercury is forward, then you can break free, then you can dissolve the karmic ties that you have dissolved, right? That you have to dissolve. And again, this nakshatra or lunar mention is about the basically just ending things, because remember also the Pisces energy is the end. It is the 12th sign, the final sign, right? So it is about ending things. So there will be a lot of contemplations about ending deep connections, ending deep ties to people, to certain people, and it will give a lot of transformation for sure, this period and this moment. But it's all in the mind, so it's all about thoughts. People are thinking about it, but for some reason they can't act on it, and those who do act on it, they may get confused, because Pisces again energy, you never know, it's unending. Nobody knows about the Pisces energy. It doesn't have an end. It's up to infinity, really, right? So a lot of people would be thinking about what you call it, the afterlife, like what's happening in the afterlife. There's a lot of this, right? But what is required right now, it is to have patience. It is really to have patience whilst all of these thoughts are going through your mind or are being proposed to you at this time, right? You will need to endure all of what's happening. This is a period of just be patient, endure, right? And then you may have an answer once it goes forward. There will be a spiritual awakening that gives you answers. Even if you're sleeping, there will be a voice or something that will say, okay, do this. This is the right decision you must take about your relationship, about this person, about your relationships at work, relationships at home, relationships in intimacy altogether, right? But once Mercury goes forward, a lot of people, definitely a lot of people will end their relationships. A lot of people will end karmic relationships, right, that have served their goals. There will be this detachment which is done out of love, right? Because this, Al Geneva part of the constellation, it's all about that. It's all about having loving detachment. So it's like you love something, but then you detach yourself from it because you love it, right? So basically, for now, the message for this period, it is to be very slow in your actions, but be unstoppable. Do not stop. Do not stop. You can be slow, but please do not stop, right? And then when it comes to the 4th until the 9th, so for that last week of this retrogression, whoa, there will be a lot of chaos. The last week of this retrogression, it's going to show us huge chaos that people will be faced with. All right, so it could be internal chaos or it could be external as well. And as I have said in my research last year, because I also did another research about Mercury retrograde, I know, and then I had proved, having followed a lot of charts of couples, and I proved that during a Mercury retrograde, there is a high tendency to experience domestic violence. A lot of relationships go through domestic violence. And for the last week of this Mercury retrograde, from the 4th until the 9th, I assure you, you will hear a whole lot of stories of domestic violence, because my research, raw data, raw research from scratch, right? Because that's what I do, I research, right? I have proven this. Every time there's a Mercury retrograde period, there is a high reporting of domestic violence. And for this time around, it's going to be the last week of this Mercury retrograde, from the 4th until the 9th of April, because this is also the time of chaos, of just storm before calm. Like literally, it's going to be just a huge detachment for a lot of people, but detachment that is painful. So you could find that, people, women are leaving their, even men actually, are leaving their homes because of abuse. They're running to shelters, because remember, the 12th house is a shelter. shelter for women, shelter for, people who are abused. There will be a lot of people at this time who go there. There will be a lot of people who are running away from homes, and it could have started already, who are leaving their abusive partners, right? But then there will be a peak at this time during this week, because what is happening, what you are required to do right now for this week, it is igniting the fire of transformation. A lot of people will be called to transform themselves or their relationships, right? At this time, it's just going to be an extreme, intense as well experience, a lot, and some people are going to be taken out of their extreme idealism of the relationship. Like a huge event happens and the person is having like a wow moment just before Mercury goes direct, because it's going to come and say, wake up, reflect, rethink, come on. Can you see this chaos that is happening? Wake up, wake up, wake up. There's chaos around you. Wake up. Right. So what's happening now for this last week of Mercury retrograde, we're going to see sudden things that are happening and that need you to move, to have action, because Mercury is about movement, right? So we're going to see a lot of beginning of spiritual death and transformation, whereby people who did not believe in maybe spirituality, but because of this event that happens in their life, all of a sudden now they believe, because there's a destruction of normalcy in their life, right? There will be an extreme intensity when it comes to how people speak their emotions and they talk. They will talk with depth, but in doing that, always remember that Mercury will go retrograde. Then you will have a chance to apply what you would have discovered. Right. Now we need to understand the deeper role of Mercury in our relationships. It is not just about communicating, like talking to you, blah, 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 blah. I love you, I love you, I love you. No, it is not limited to that. We must remember that Mercury is the messenger. That means that even before we came into this world, into a body, right, our souls had to communicate. That communication that they did, it was ruled also by Mercury, right? The contracts that we sign in a soul form before we choose a body, it is also done through Mercury. So Mercury is bigger and very important in our relationships. Therefore, when you're looking at a chart, always look at Mercury. Do not think that, it's just Mercury, it's a small thing, it moves fast, it changes fast, it doesn't have a big impact. No. Then you're going to miss the message that you have to look for. You're going to miss it, right? Let me give you an example to show you the importance of Mercury. When Mercury is conjunct with Saturn or with the nodes, with Ketu or Rahu, you must know that there is an important message that this partner is bringing into your life. I repeat myself. whenever you see Mercury conjunct with Saturn or with one of the nodes, Ketu or Rahu, know deep inside that this person has a very important message or information to give to you in this lifetime. They may come to you for a few months, for 2 months. You can, date them for 2 months, or if it's your family member, then, obviously you're always with them. But this is the person that you must open your ears to the most, because they have a very important message that will change your life forever. So going forward, I ask you guys, whenever in your synastry you have someone having their Mercury being attached to your Saturn or one of the nodes, listen to that person more. Hear what they're saying. Hear what message they're giving you, because it is coming directly from the contract that you signed before you came into this body. Right. I know sometimes I talk a lot in a motivational manner, but this is who I am. I've always been, motivational. Even when I was in high school, people who I grew up with will tell you the same thing. I don't change myself just for YouTube or, to have you liking the video. I've always been like this. I've always motivated people since I was a student, having teachers ask me to come and motivate other students, So people who I grew up with, they know this motivational thing in me. I've always been like this. I can't change it since I was a child. I can't change it. But obviously, I've already told you guys, it is because of the nakshatra that I was born in, making me too much of a Jupiterian naturally. But I now find a purpose that is even more spiritually inclined through this astrology work, because I can help you, but at the same time I can help you see the hard points that your chart is coming with, or that this person is coming with in your life. But at the same time, I am equipped in all spheres of life. I am equipped to guide you and to help you, right? I am equipped educationally, and I am equipped spiritually to guide you, to help you, to coach you, right? So, really important, please, whoever has their Mercury attached to your karma, to your Saturn or the nodes, it is a karma, a direct karma that is coming and bringing an important message into your life, right? I am busy currently, having these one-on-one workshops with people who bought my book, the Dragon Astro Yoga book, which is available on Amazon. And I think now it should be available in the stores near you, but I will check and tell you guys. But it's available on Amazon for now, and you can send your questions in batches. When you finish a chapter, send me your questions, and then we can have the one-on-one workshop, which is going on. I'm busy with that. That's why I don't make a lot of videos, because I'm having these workshops now, helping people. So if you buy the book, then you have a free consultation, so to speak, with your chart, right? It's not free, but it is free because you pay once. You only pay for the book, and then you send me your details, your birth details, and then we'll work through your chart. Writer. So now that Sierra and her husband Russel Williams hooked up Normani and DK Metcalf, I'm interested to know how's their relationships, how's their synastry, because they were Mercury based. I am Mercury ruled. I'm a Gemini, so anything Mercury is my playground. So they were hooked up by a friend, Mercury, right? So I wanted to see, okay, what's happening? Normani and DK Metcalf. We know Normani, she was in Fifth Harmony, their girl group, and now she's a solo artist, and she's a great dancer, great musician, very beautiful. Her skin is flawless, her dance moves flawless, everything flawless, right? And of course now we know about DK Metcalf because he's with Normani. Before that we didn't know about him, right? So no, and I'm using sidereal. That means that, you know, my ascendant may be different from, you know, the popular astrology. That also means the sun signs, because, you know, with the popular astrology they like the sun signs, so that may be different as well. Because I usually get, you know, people saying, oh no, it's not the right sun sign, oh no, then I have to say, oh no, I'm using sidereal. Right? But usually a lot of people, I think all people are, you know, respectful, you know, they do it respectfully. I think they just feel the energy that I'm not doing it to, you know, to be entertaining, right? So I'm lucky to always have like people who are respectful, and you know, obviously well, then they can teach me something, I can teach them something. That's how we grow as a research hub, right? So yeah, so I'm using sidereal. And you know, nowadays I say I'm using sidereal because one of you advised me that I should actually mention that I use sidereal. So you see how you guys help me. Hey, we're a team here. Love it. Thanks, guys. But anyway, let's get into the Synastry. First of all, these guys, they have a beautiful Synastry right from the get-go. It's like Sierra and Russell, they are the matchmakers, because these guys' Synastry is on point. All right, I have her Venus retrograde, by the way, which changes a lot of things. Why? Because when Venus is a retrograde, as I have said, like it is retrograde right now, oh my gosh, right? I'm choosing them. They have the Venus, she has the Venus retrograde. When Venus retrograde is retrograde, it means that love will not come easily to you. Like genuine love will not come easily to you. You will have to struggle before you find the right partner who's going to love you in a harmonious way. You may also end up in situationships, because that's what a retrograde Venus does naturally. It's like, for example, if you meet somebody new now, which I told you guys in my March horoscope, that if you meet somebody new right now and you start a relationship with them, please do not get married, or do not you know, think this is going to be the end. I mean, this is going to be like lasting forever, because any relationship that is started during a Venus retrograde, it ends up ending, you know, when when Venus goes forward again. So it is the same thing when you are born with a Venus retrograde. You're gonna get into situationships quite often, or you're going to get into situations whereby you think that this partner loves you, whereas this partner is not necessarily loving you, or they're not with you on a genuine basis. So there's a lot of illusion that comes with love when you are born with a Venus retrograde. It is, you know, one of those unfortunate things, really. So what you can do is that when you have a Venus retrograde, when you break up with someone, you can come back and date them again. Like each person that you date, you can give them a second opportunity, because normally the second time around things usually get better, because that's what the retrogression is about. It's about going back, reflecting, redoing, recorrecting, right? So in a case of a retrograde Venus, like if you find somebody, don't just break up with them for the first time and you say bye. Just think about it. You can go back again and things may get better, obviously depending on your progressions at the time, right? So she's got her Venus conjunct with his moon, right? Which I always love to see all the time. When I see Venus conjunct moon, I love it, because it means that there will be affection in the relationship, there will be compassion, there will be expression of love, but also that is in a nurturing way, that is coming with emotions, right? And she's got her Venus trine his Venus. I mean, what else can you ask for, right? Support in their love, support in their affection, support in their relationship. I do have their moons trine as well, another stability, another emotional support that is shown here. And the mental lane, on a mental lane, because remember, moon is also mind. On a mental lane, they are in a harmonious way, they think alike, right? I do have her moon trine his Venus again, harmonizing with that Venus conjunct moon, and it shows us that there will be a domestic situation that they will do definitely together. So they're gonna buy a house together, or they're gonna have a pet together, or they're going to have a child together. That is for sure. I do have, her Venus, though, giving a square to Saturn. But as I always say, do not be scared of squares. It just gives a challenge in the relationship, and for them in particular, right? Because her Venus is on her ascendant. She's a Gemini ascendant, by the way. She's got a Venus on her ascendant, right? So what is showing me, it is that there will be a professional distance or a professional schedule that is requiring them to work around. I mean, this is normal. This is normal life. You see, guys, why you shouldn't be afraid of squares. Just look at the sign, look where it is, house placement, and see what is this challenge about. And for them, it's about profession, it's about work and her availability. So they can compromise on their schedule, they can compromise and go on dates, stuff like this, right? And at the same time, it is also showing that she may be struggling to come up with the resources that match his resources. But at the same time, he will be able to buy her a home or build her a home. That is what we see from the square, right? Okay, so they do have, a Mercury trine Mercury. Love, because the conversation is going, the conversation is supportive. They're saying affirmative words to each other, positive words, they're encouraging each other, right? I do have her sun opposite his sun, though, meaning that ego wise, they're going to challenge each other. There's going to be clash of ego. Most times, each person sees themselves as the royal, and the other one is like, no, you should bow to me. The other one is like, no, you bow to me, right? And both of their sons, they are in the position, in their signs that are not really happy for sun to be in. She's got her sun in Taurus and he's got his sun in Scorpio, right? So both sons are not really in a directive position. However, because their sons are actually in the places of wealth and money, it means that both of them will be able to come up with bank into the relationship, right? Beautiful. And both sons, they're actually also about family life, so they will think about family for sure. They will think about having these children for sure. This is evident in their synastry. I do have her Mars sextile his Mars. Oh la la, the passion is here. They are like friends to each other. The conversation, when they talk with passion. They just express themselves in a very passionate way. And I also have her Jupiter sextile his Jupiter. Even with the belief systems, they support each other. They are going towards the same flow. Lots of support here. Yeah, very open-minded to each other's conversations, and they will feed off each other. One will come up with a small idea, and the other one makes the idea big and huge, and they're able to bring a lot of gains to their marriage or to their relationship and have all their projects done. Yeah, I do have her Saturn square his moon, again indicating that even if they have children, one of them is going to be there for the children more than the other because of work, because of schedule again. And with this one, they could also be having disagreement in how to raise children. One thinks we should raise kids in this way. The other one is like, oh no, I think we should put this structure. The other one is like, I think we should have a nanny. The other one is like, no, I don't think we should have a nanny. So these are the normal things really that all couples go through. So again, you see a square, do not be scared about, just compromise and look for solutions, right? But they have one aspect that, of course, gives a bit of worry. Her moon is in conjunction, is giving an in conjunction to his Saturn, and in conjunction is a 6-8 relationship, because here it's again is indicating without parenting structure, one of them is going to have a hard time adapting to the structure of the other one. When it comes to parenting, when it comes to choosing a home, when it comes to choosing things, there's going to be a huge problem here. And with this one will have to bow to the other one, but not in a comfortable way. It's going to be a fight, and this could also be a point of a break up, right? When it comes to the parenting part, or which home to choose, or home, something like that, could be the breaking point. This could be the why they break up, if they would ever break up. But with their synastry, really a lot of things can be resolved here. Their synastry is not difficult. There's not a lot of challenges. A whole lot of things are in harmony. So this is nothing. With all these positives, this is nothing. Really, they can't be deterred by just this one big problem, right? They can solve it. So I do see that in 2023, because this is when they started the relationship. Remember, they were set up by a friend, Mercury, trine Mercury, right? And they started the relationship because at this time her progressing Venus was conjunct with her 11th house, which is what opposite her 5th house of romance and intimacy. And at the same time, the most important part is that the progressing Venus was conjunct her Mercury friend. Remember, they were hooked up by friends, right? And there's also Mars, so you can see that male friends, because Sierra's husband, Russel Williams Wilson, is a friend to this DK Metcalf guy. So Mars, right, and Mercury friends. So you can see how the setup really is about, and it's in the 11th house of friends. Again, explaining how they really met. These things we can see in the Synastry so easily. Right, and for him, his progressing Venus was conjunct with Saturn at this time, his own Saturn, which is conjunct with her Saturn, by the way, and Ketu opposite Lilith. Of course, when progressing Venus conjuncts with Saturn, is going to require you to think seriously about commitment, about relationships, and at this time, he was for sure thinking about committing and wanting a stable relationship, and he is obsessed with her, by the way. He's a very obsessed, this guy. When we talk about obsession, we really talk about obsession. Why is that? Because when he turns 28, he is progressing. Rahu will be conjunct her ascendant, and at this time he's going to want, actually he's 27 now. Yeah, he's 27 years old. So since the age of 24, he's been having his progressing Rahu in Gemini. So it shows a lot of obsession over Normani. And when I read on the news, Normani said this guy was, texting her on Instagram, and she was ignoring him. Which, by the way, is explaining here because he's obsessed with her right now due to that progressing Rahu over her ascendant, which is conjunct her Venus. Again, explaining why he really wanted her and why he's proposing to her is because he's obsessed with her. It is a genuine obsession. He's really obsessed with her. So it's not about, opportunistic thing. It's not about public PR relationship. Yeah, public relationship type of a vibe. No, he's obsessed with her. This guy is obsessed with Normani, right? Which helps in a relationship. You do want somebody who loves you, right? But at the same time, it's also indicated that he was also serious about getting into a relationship because his progressing Venus was attached with his Saturn, which is conjunct with her Saturn. Again, a serious indication of a serious commitment and a serious relationship. But it's opposite, his Lilith. So again, it could indicate that he's obsessed with her, yes, and maybe that's why the commitment came, because he's obsessed with her. When you're obsessed with something, you just want to own it, like you just want it all to yourself. Right. I do have his progressing Saturn also conjunct with his own natal Venus right now. So this is why he just proposed, because again, that serious nature of Saturn and Venus is again, being emphasized. And remember, when I started this year, I told you guys that this year would be a year when a lot of people get engaged, a lot of people get married up until mid-June. I told you guys, I made that video already, and you've seen this. A whole lot of people have been getting engaged because I study these things. I see what the planets will do, and I've been proven right again. And I don't say that with arrogance, but I say that to show you that planets really deliver on what they show, because planets know everything more than the things that we know, right? Mercury knowledge, right? So I do have his Rahu, progressing Rahu with her Venus, as I said, and at the same time I have his progressing Venus conjunct with her Sun, right? Which is why we're seeing this love being shown, because sun will put light in whatever it touches, and it's opposite his sun, so he's also being shown to the public. We're getting to know about him now. Everybody gets to know about them and the family that they are trying to build, because it is in Taurus and Scorpio, right? For her right now, I have her progressing Venus conjunct with their Saturns, again confirming that their engagement is based on reality, on being real. They really love each other and they really want to commit to each other. Like, this is not a stunt. All right. And soon, very soon, her progressing Venus is going to be attached with his Venus, which is in a few months' time. So, it's like, even if they wanted to, it's like they would want to get married as soon as possible because of the Venus. But at the same time, it's going to be conjunct with his Ketu. So maybe they have a work schedule that doesn't want them to settle on a date, even if they want, there will be that urgency to get married very soon, very quickly. But maybe there could be a hesitation because of another schedule, or something else, or a friend say something, but that's also a possibility, because her progressing Venus will be with his Venus, and when the Venuses are together, they just want to create a beautiful union, right? I do see that next year, when he's around 28, as I said, they would buy a home or have a cat, a dog, or a child. Like, they would have a domestic settlement together at this time, right? From her point of view, I do see that it would be around mid 2026, so around May, June, July, that period, whereby we hear the news of or these things that are relating to moon and their fourth house, right? So yeah, that's what I see. It makes me a bit sad, because when I was not sad, not this makes me happy. Normani and DK Metcalf, they make me happy. Everything is happy here. But I was just thinking about Chloe and Ben Boy. When I was doing the Synastry, I could see the Rahu with her Venus, but I didn't want to say that there would be cheating rumors, because I just felt like, oh my God, they knew. They just got announced to be in a relationship. I don't want to say something so negative. And just 3 weeks after, or 2 weeks after, those rumors of him cheating on her came up. And then I was like, okay, I saw it, right? So now I'm just going to say things that I see, even if the relationship is new, even if people are just newly engaged. I'm just going to say it because I see it, and this is how I'm going to operate, going forward. And yeah, that's what I learned, that, I should just say it. If I say it, I should just say it. And maybe it could save, somebody who could be in a similar position or a similar point, whereby even if you see something bad, just say it. And then let the person decide for themselves. Like, I should not be a gatekeeper of what I see. Let the person decide themselves, right? But with them, so this is why I say with them, Normani and DK Metcalf, I see that there could be an urgency to get married as soon as possible. But because of Ketu, there could be some disruption or something that could come up as well. So that's why I'm saying it now. I know it's not really a nice thing to say, but I learned from that Synastry analysis I did of Chloe Bailey and Ben Boy. Otherwise, that is it about the Mercury retrograde, and I'll chat to you soon. I'll be into and ciao. Thanks so much. Ciao.